We are live. We are now live with our new show. And welcome, time traveler, with your 1987 webcam here to the Made in the 80s show. I figured might as well bring a guy from the 80s. And it's nice to see you brought your VHS tapes along.
Yeah, let me light them up here. It's going to be great.
Go.
Whoa.
Wow.
This is it's what we call high definition.
Yeah. Back then, what was it? 240p? No, 240i?
I just know 8-bit.
8-bit. Okay. I wasn't sure that's how they ran the televisions, but yeah.
UHF.
Right. So this show is going to be about Made in the 80s. But that's us, more in reference to us than the items. But we're going to start with a piece of some nostalgia from the 80s, and then we're just going to see where it leads us. My name is Jay.
My name is Jay.
No, he's not.
No, Thomas.
Yes, we've got our Instagram handles are listed below in case you want to check out some really cool 80s nostalgic other way. No,
well, on my way, I'm pointing right at that son of a gun. But if you want, there we go.
There you go. So you can check out and look at some of this stuff that we'll be talking about. I'd like to do, 1 or 2 episodes a week, or just as they come, we can just Joe Rogan it and just kind of like throw them out there when we find the inspiration. I've really kind of started this first one off as a test, some filler. We'll get some content up, but certainly there was something that inspired me to start with the things we're starting with today. So I attended the stadium tour on Thursday in Cleveland at the Browns Stadium. Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Joan Jett, and Poison. So I gotta say it was a wild show, man. I tell you, and the cool thing about this, the other reason I really wanted to start this podcast is because I wanted to, the 80s are hot. I feel like you remember when we were kids, the 60s got really hot, and you had the girls at school in their flower dress and their, hippie this, that, and the other thing. But I don't think it was anywhere as hot as the 80s are right now in that same sense.
They are scorching.
There were, I would say the concert wasn't sold out, but there were probably, I think that stadium holds about 60 some thousand, maybe 70, half, maybe a quarter of it is blocked off because of the way the stage is set up. But there were probably 35, 40,000 people there. And I would say 10% of them were 20 or younger. Maybe.
How many were 60 or older?
Not that many.
50.
Obviously the majority was like 35 to 55. That was the majority of.
That's that 80s nostalgia net.
Yeah, but the show was fucking phenomenal, bro. So Joan Jett started.
Don't like her.
She was, I would say, she looked kind of like, she looked better than last time I saw her on TV, where she looked like Skeletor or something. But dude, she fucking rocked it. She killed it. She played a couple of great covers.
Played all 2 of her songs?
All 2 of her big songs. There was a girl that came up to us. She had a Joan Jett shirt on. She looked like she was 16. I was like, "You love Joan Jett?" She was like, "Oh, I love her. I love our songs." She had her hair done with those little frizzy 80s crimp. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, I'm 19. I love Joan Jett." And then,
she was 16.
Yeah, 16 maybe.
Well, then you said 19. See, it's not going to hold up in court.
Well, she looked 16 is what I said. Then she actually was 19.
That's worse.
So, but my point is there's a very young generation now and there was like a girl and her boyfriend. They're like, "Oh, we snuck down. We jumped over the gate and the fence. And, this is her first concert." She lifts up her arm and she's got a Poison tattoo, the logo. And she was like 21. I'm like, wow, there's still Poison groupies. I mean, Bret Michaels just brings it. I went to the show like 15 years ago, and there were 25, 30 smoking hot, like, 25, 30-year-olds.
Well, of course.
And for Bret at 45.
Here's my thing. Bret Michaels still looks good. CC, I respect him, but my God, he's got skinny legs that freak me out. I don't like it. And then he's got these lifts. Have you seen them boots? I don't know how close you were to that thing, but Jesus, fuck, they were like 4 or 5 inches.
Did CC killed it. Ricky Rocket killed it. So my buddy Adam does jiu-jitsu in LA with Ricky Rocket. I was hoping he was going to make it to the show so we could end up backstage or something, but no doubt the Poison went on next, Def Leppard, and then of course Motley Crue finished. I heard they have been flip-flopping the tour where Def Leppard will close or Motley Crue will close or whatever, but we'll get more into the show. But I want to start with a few of the pieces that I pulled aside. So I have some sealed cassettes here, which of course you and I we're not the OG collectors, but we certainly are the first of the modern guys that are circulating out there with this stuff to get in on this. It's been for me, at least about a year and a half, we've been buying cassettes, something like that, sealed cassettes. So I have a few.
Well, I didn't know this is a show and tell. Should I grab
Show and tell. That's what the point is going to be, to put up some pieces and then see where it leads us. So I pulled some pieces aside. Here's a sealed Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. I actually have all the sealed Motley Crue tapes here, which the early ones are super hard to find. Shout at the Devil, really hard to find. Theater of Pain. Classic artwork covers, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Badass.
And then, of course, this one.
It's their best album.
Certainly their most raw album, the first, Too Fast for Love.
Too fast for love.
Vince could still sing. I was surprised. He was better than the reviews have been. They got 3 backup singers. I don't know how well they can sing, but the girls are smoking hot. Perfect 80s girls video.
I don't like singing girls.
They don't really sing, bro. They just dance around in
I don't
lingerie.
They're too confident. I don't like it.
You don't like confident stripper girls.
No, it reminds me of my ex-wife is what it reminds me of.
Well, Kid Rock made a killing on that kind of a show presentation. He's done pretty well with it. All
right, hold on. I'm going to grab mine. I didn't know this is a show and tell. I'll BRB. 2 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'll keep talking.
Any other bands I should grab now so I don't have to get up again?
I mentioned them, right? I have them all here.
No Joan Jett.
No.
You have them all here.
Well, the show in general, I will say one of the highlights of the show was Tommy Lee gets up, maybe eight songs into the set, and he says, "Hey, Cleveland, I want to say this too. If you've ever been to a concert with me, you know that it seems like I was paid by the band to show up and hype. And I'm not drunk or heavily on drugs or anything. And I run around all over the floor, yell and scream, sing all the songs, pump up the people, high five with all the people, smack old married women on the ass."
What?
Yeah, you came in at the wrong time. So I was saying one of the highlights of the show was about 8 songs into the Motley Crue set to end the night. And it just was killing it. Tommy Lee comes on the mic and he says, "Hey, Cleveland, you guys have always been good to us. Love you, blah, blah, blah. But I got, there's something I haven't seen tonight." And I turned to my buddies in the whole crowd and I was like, "Oh, and by the way, yeah. I was like, look at this shirt I got, dude. How freaking 80s is this shirt?" Right? He's like, "I haven't seen something tonight." And, there were a lot of so right next to us, there was a group of 3 daughters of this guy who I ended up talking, super cool guy, big old corn-fed country boy from Columbus with his wife and 3 daughters, probably 17, 20, and 25. Big girls, like softball players, like athletic, good looking, whatever. And they knew every song. They sang all the songs. They danced. They went kind of crazy in the aisleway. And this Tommy comes up there, and I turned to everyone. I was like, he's like, I haven't seen something yet. And I was like, titties, right? You know, of course. Nobody else. Everyone's like, and the girl kind of looked at me. Sure enough, he's like, I ain't seen any titties yet. Mm-hmm. And then they cut to the crowd, right? And of course, you always have the three girls with the great fake tits who found some shoulders to stand on real quick. And up they came, and out they came, and it was in all its glory, 80s glory. And I looked over at those three girls, and their jaws hit the floor, bro. It was hilarious. Like they'd never seen it before. Like, I can't believe that just happened. Well, that's what happened when you didn't have to worry about cell phones taping your every move.
Oh, what a good time.
Wasn't it?
Special time. Yep. Fucking
dude. Hell. So, what'd you bring to show?
Well, also, Dr. Feelgood.
There we go. Yeah,
Mine's
their
Club,
best out.
Is yours Club?
No, I have a few copies, and actually I've looked. There's a few. The early release is a little bit darker green on the artwork. I have about 4 or 5 copies. The early release has a darker green cover to it and a little bit slight variant in the tape itself. So, yeah,
this matches your shirt.
Oh, is that "Don't Go Away Mad"?
Yeah, I'm trying to get no glare.
Dude, that they played that. It was so good, bro. Oh my God, I went nuts for that. It's my fault. And what a great breakup song that is, isn't it?
Just go.
Just girl, don't go away, mad girl. Just go away.
And this one looks hotter than yours.
That is super hot, bro. Is that what edition is that? Club edition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Columbia House.
Mm-hmm.
Digilog.
Usually those Digilogs with the UPC are probably regular releases, though. Honestly, it's just weird. That was probably just produced later and then also sold on store shelves as well. I think they produced a lot for both at that time.
Oh, keep it with the club.
Yeah. So yeah, what do we have here?
What's the back ears look like?
Pyromania. Mine's the club too. Same, I think. Same release. Yep. Right?
Yep. Yeah, it says the club thing on front. It doesn't say it on the back.
Lead singer of Def Leppard. We were with a guy. So funny. He's like, dude, I'm a huge Def Leppard fan. So we were talking about beforehand how, drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm.
Of course.
And he was like, I never knew that. I'm like, bro, that video played on MTV like 1,000 times. What was it for Hysteria or Pour Some Sugar on Me, where they had converted him after the car accident to all the, everything was on foot pedals now.
Mm-hmm. Epic. And he's got like that little.
Yeah. And he's just hitting it. Boom. And the sleeve is hanging off. Like, dude, can you just cut off his sleeve?
It's like Upper Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. Can you just cut off the sleeve for the dude? I mean, yeah.
Nah, he's too badass. He didn't. I ain't cutting off shit.
Maybe there would have been a little nub there they didn't want to show or something. But I'll say this, dude. Gross. The Def Leppard set, it was still a little bit light outside. And God, it's the first time I've ever seen Def Leppard. And they were like, I didn't realize how great they would be in a stadium anthem tour setting like that. I mean, it was so good. Some of the stuff, Hysteria, Animal, Rocket, all their like little bit later stuff, mid to late 80s was just perfect for that setting. And even Rock of Ages was so good.
Hysteria is my favorite. When I lived in Chicago and I worked on that television program, we call times are insanely early. And I would just drive down Lakeshore Drive, no traffic yet, lakes on your left, buildings on the right, and I would just play Hysteria every morning. And because it's like chill, kind of wakes you up. God, perfect driving.
Good driving music. Yeah. Yep. Of course. They have a bunch of those that kind of fit that mold, don't they?
You're darn tootin'. Speaking of driving, look at that. A semi-truck.
Yeah, not an easy one. We were actually talking about that album before the show. Yep. There's not a lot of huge songs off of it. What's the High and Dry is the album title, right?
Yep. No, On Through the Night. High and Dry is later.
What's on that? What are the song lists?
I'll give you the track list.
Yeah.
Rock Brigade, Hello America, Sorrow is a Woman, It Could Be You, Satellite, When the Walls Came Tumbling Down, not the John Mellencamp one, Wasted, Rocks Off, It Don't Matter, Answer to the Master, Metallica copied them, Overture.
I don't know many of those songs. I mean, of the bands that were there, I know all Def Leppard hits. You know what I mean?
Such a badass cover, though, man.
This big semi.
A semi driving out of the moon and with just a huge guitar.
Perfectly made for an LP. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a banger by any means, but cool to have.
Poison came out right after Joan Jett. There was the concert started at 3:30. There was an opening local band we missed. We got there at 4. Joan Jett came out right after. She played for probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Then there was a break. Then there was then Poison played not that long, but dude, Bret Michaels was so cool and just generous and I mean, just throwing love to the crowd. And he's been through his cancer that he had. He had a melanoma.
We've had our scares.
Yes, both you and I and him, and but he's always tan, bro, just like me. So what can you say?
I can't tan. I can't do it.
Yeah,
but I don't get tan.
So they played, of course, a couple of my favorite. Poison was one of my all-time favorite bands as a kid. I have this, and I have it open. I have a few sealed copies, but I brought this was one of my all-time favorite albums. I wanted to bring it so we could open it up. So I remember, I think this came out when I was in 5th grade. And if you remember the fold out of this,
I don't.
Where it had the 4 band members. Dude, I remember that so vividly, all done up in their makeup and hair.
I bet. Well, see, that reminds me of the what's the album cover with the 4 of them done up.
Oh yeah,
white border.
Yeah, well, look what the cat dragged in.
That's not that album, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Why is the LP white? No, the LP's got a different cover then.
Yeah, the one of the 4 of them.
That's a different album, dude.
I'm telling you.
That's the one with every rose has its thorn.
No, that's this one. Open Up and Say Ah. Trust me, I know this album. Open Up and Say Ah is 2 of my all-time favorite songs back to back. Fallen Angel and Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Well, I don't know, man. I think that the album cover.
Don't question my Poison knowledge, but
I'm not a Poison guy. I'm not. I self-admitted, but
this has Bret Michaels standing behind in front of 2 smoking hot chicks with Dobermans. Look.
I mean, I see it. Doberman is my breed of choice, just to put it out.
I remember looking at these in 5th grade.
Such a better cover.
It is a great sexy cover-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I think it was the album before this. And then there's that picture with Cece with a girl in their stocking with a gun. And then they had band pictures.
Lifts?
Huh?
Is he wearing his lifts?
Look at that. Oh, probably. But look, they had the band pictures from the tour with all the chicks everywhere. I remember there's this one picture here. I think it's with Bret in the pool with 2 topless chicks grabbing their bosoms. Dude, I remember this is ingrained in my 5th grade boy starting puberty memory. You cannot believe the nostalgia that comes from the interior art book of this is unbelievable. Sitting up there with my friends after we just kicked some ass at tetherball, giggling our asses off, looking at all these pictures of these hot chicks.
Between we got back then, that's where we got some hot chicks. It wasn't just readily available. And now
on Instagram,
these do. No, I mean, even the other sites, I won't mention any, but Grindr, you still remember that, right? Yeah. You remember Bret Michaels, 2 topless chicks, and this generation should be like, oh yeah, I remember that girl with the video with the guy eating Fruit Loops out of her ass. That's their Poison inlay.
I don't think but there's so much of it available now. Those girls in the pool with Bret. Well, no, but you have to go very strong, right? Because there's so much, half naked girl available to teenage boys on their phones that they don't have that ingrained memory like I have of Bret Michaels in the pool with the two. And there was just something magical about the 80s hotties, the way they get up and wait till you go to the concert and see the three girls.
Again, I'll go back to like a website of my choice, a hosting site, and just do like 80s lady or whatever. And you get the bangs and the crimps, and they are about as in focus as I am right now.
What do they call that? Vintage porn?
Probably. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. It's magic, man. Magic. They're tan.
What do they call it? They're tan. Do they call it? Well, now, see, the thing is now, any of these girls now, like back then, if you wanted to make some money and show off your body, that was like your only choice, right? Now, these girls, if you're super hot, why would you go and do some trashy porn when you can just do Instagram or
wrong about that? You don't have to do porn, but you can do OnlyFans, and you don't have to be super hot.
But I'm saying this. But there used to be super hot girls in 80s and 90s porn because that was their only way to make money with their bodies. Now they just have to become an Instagram model. They'll make way more money than they ever would have made in 80s and 90s porn. That's why there's no hot porn stars anymore.
Instagram models are 2000 and late, and now it's OnlyFans.
2000. No, there are no more hot porn stars, bro. There are not.
I'm not.
They're just Instagram models now. I know, but then what are you talking about?
I said OnlyFans.
Yeah, but that's still like just one step past Instagram.
I know. It's border. It's a bridge in between porn and Instagram.
Yeah, right. But my point is there's no bridge because all the porn is a bunch of ugly skanks now. Yeah, for sure.
I don't like overproduced porn. Can't do it.
Like 70s stuff, that was your... like you wanted the full storyline. You didn't like the full storyline.
Filmed now. No, I don't need a storyline. I'm not going to pay attention to it anyway.
The story's on ludicrous.
Well, first of all, Lebowski, everything now is like stepbrother, stepsister, and I feel weird. Like I will not click those. I don't want that on my FBI data sheet. I don't want anything to do with it. Plus, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it, and I'm behind the times. That's not a turn on to me.
Yeah. Dick in a box, not your thing, huh? The pizza, whatever it is. I guess that was more from the 90s now, isn't it? Whatever. Well, moving on. The next morning, I want to say.
Oh my God! This is newspaper.
Well, I am one of the few guys that still gets the newspaper.
I know I may look 30,
but I act 70
in the morning.
I read it in the morning, cover to cover. Okay, cover to cover. Mm-hmm. And it was funny. I went to the show Thursday night, and
they were just in town for
the
one
very
night,
next.
Right?
Yeah, they left. I think
one show
to Indianapolis or something. Yeah. But the very next day, they had a very interesting article in the arts and entertainment section. The greatest rock and roll Hall of Fame songs of all time ranked. Okay, which we get a lot of write-ups about stuff pertaining to the Rock Hall being here in Cleveland and whatnot. That's a whole nother podcast at another time about
Jay's in Cleveland. I'm in LA, Los Angeles.
But you're from Milwaukee. You're a brewer.
I'm from Milwaukee. Yes, I'm a Milwaukee boy.
And I'm diehard Cleveland through and through, even though I did live in LA and Vegas and Philadelphia 10, 12 years of my life. But so the interesting part of this is a compilation of the greatest songs of all time. I think they ended up putting the top 20 in here or something. Let me see what it was. But the funny part is the guy that wrote this writes fairly frequently and does a lot of different lists and things. He cut it down to the top 20. Now, the guy that writes this, I've obviously been getting the paper since I was a kid. And the guy that writes this, Troy Smith, my guess is he's probably the Ohio State quarterback. So the guy is, he looks like a maybe mid-30s black guy. So he has a bit of a bias over the times that I've read some of his articles. He obviously likes to, he has a tendency to sway somewhat towards, like early blues and jazz and some of that stuff, black cultured music.
Jazz is stupid.
That normally would not be in the list. And then he also, because of his age, I think he just has an unbelievable infatuation with Radiohead. There's never a time he doesn't put out an article that doesn't have like 3 Radiohead songs in it. Like, dude, we know. Oh, I love Radiohead.
Like Radiohead.
They're the worst. They look like that big white penis microphone in your shot there that you have.
This guy?
Yes, that guy. Yes, you like that, huh?
I don't know, but I know I'm
enjoying staring at it. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, they have a couple good songs, but they have a crazy cult following that is just.
So does Grateful Dead, and they suck too, and so does Dave Matthews, and they suck too.
Dave Matthews is the worst. Dave Matthews is the worst.
And here's the thing: they're all similar to jazz in the way that, Radiohead not so much, but the other ones where it's just like free flow, man. We're just playing music, like.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, I respect your musicianship. You have to be very talented. But with all that talent, to make the most annoying fucking nonsensical music, if you want to call it that, or song, it's like a movie that has a few interesting characters and no plot.
Right. Or well written, or like Magnolia, all this really interesting dialogue and scene, but no fucking story that makes any sense, right? With some great actors just thrown up on a fucking screen, like someone vomited great actors on a screen. That's, to me, their music. I don't mind a good jam band. Like, go back to Dixie Dregs, or even Charlie Daniels Band is, in essence, they have a lot of jam band style music, which I love. But to me, Dave Matthews, Rusted Root, Radiohead, there's so much nonsensical music in it. Now, of course, no one's watching this. This is our first episode, so we could say whatever the fuck we want. However, if anyone does watch it, it has a fucking crazy man crush on these guys, right? They're gonna be here are these fucking
none of
these
those dudes
idiots.
are hot. Not a one of them.
Not that.
That's why
their
make
music.
That shit music, because they're not hot.
That doesn't help. But my point is,
when you're hot, you make Bret Michaels music.
Fuck yeah, you do.
Guns N' Roses music. You make Rat. You make
or
Bon Jovi.
The one exception is Weezer, right? Like, those dudes aren't hot, but they fucking rock. Yeah.
See that right there?
No, I don't see it. What is that?
Well. The big reach.
It's all gonna come tumbling
I
down.
know.
Oh, Mallrats.
Signed by Weezer.
Okay. Shannon Doherty. She put her bosoms
they have
on there for you.
the song Suzanne, which is an amazing song,
right
on the title track or title credits.
So this list was interesting to me, and like I said, he has his bias, so he threw a few in there. But I started to agree with him. But I also want to note a couple obvious omissions from us. Obviously, we'll probably both agree on this based on the T-shirts that we're wearing and the music that we love and listen to. But I'll go through some of these. Some we'll kind of blast through. But
the top 10 should all be Van Halen
and Guns N' Roses. Yeah,
yeah, I love Guns N' Roses, but Van Halen top 10.
Okay, number 20, Stevie Wonder, Superstition. Great song. Okay, I can understand having it in that mix, but you can see his bias there in some ways. However, I didn't realize that song was written by Jeff Beck and supposed to go on the Jeff Beck album. Did you know that? Had no idea. Fantastic song.
Yeah, it's got a cool intro.
Yes. Number 19, Talking Heads, Psycho Killer from 1978.
Great song. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 20, but awesome song.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, the stipulation of this particular article was that any band whose song was on this list had to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, which excluded a really large number of bands that you would think, and also kind of made me realize how many great 70s and 80s bands are still not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and there's a lot of horse shit people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So,
and keep going.
Okay, so number 18, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Absolutely.
Gotta be on the list.
Yeah, iconic music record-changing song. Changed everything about music.
There is a promo single on the eBay right now. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
So, I mean, those have been selling hot. I saw one go for $1,000. And
Promo? I haven't seen.
No,
a
I'm
promo.
talking about just that particular single in general. It's one of the hottest singles that's been going. $1,000. I saw one go for $1,000.
It's got some seal issues though.
But
I've never seen a promo one. Like legit, it's got a sticker on the back that says for promotional use from Geffen Studios, not to be resold or blah blah blah.
The interesting finish to this top 20, the article about this song in particular says, grunge took over the world, kicking classic rock and hair bands to the side, and Cobain became rock's biggest icon, even if it only lasted a few years. But, I mean, there's truth to that, right?
I agree.
mean, it was hair band, real anthem rock and roll, died with Nirvana, Nevermind. Died, bro. Broke my fucking heart. Now, I got into Nirvana and Pearl Jam a little bit, but I still listen to Warrant, Tesla, and Poison, and GNR, and whatever. But, of course, the time lapse, the conversion time, the overlap was, GNR was on their Use Your Illusions tour. Nirvana and Pearl Jam hit. That kind of transitioned out of the last great 80s true rock hair band. I don't even like Guns N' Roses, not a hair band at all. But that was kind of the end of that. And if you were... there's been so many great books and things written about how if you were on tour and you were an 80s hair band and that shit hit, and dude, it was over, bro.
Guns N' Roses is the last true rock and roll band to take over the world.
Yeah.
And I put
those shows,
and that's even considered with Nirvana in there. Nirvana was huge. And they are rock, but they're not like that classic American rock and roll band. And GNR growing up with that. Like that was something special, and I remember it. I remember like the cool kind of bad kids in our small town had GNR shirts, and it was fucking awesome. And I know I wanted that, and my dad thought it was the devil, so I wanted it even more. Fuck, here we are, Jesus Christ.
The great thing about, isn't it funny that it was like the coolest kid was who could be the biggest hood rat, like Skid Row, 18 in Life, like who could be the biggest dirtbag, dirtball, rat tail, fucking.
And that's what those dudes were. There was one guy named Kevin, classic dickhead name, and another guy named Bo. And Bo would steal the pegs off your bike by hand. No wrenches, no nothing, just strong. And then that son of a bitch ripped his Achilles trying to steal third in Little League. It all worked out.
Yeah, off your GT Performer. Did you have a GT Performer or Haro? I had a knockoff GT Performer, I think. But all the kids in my neighborhood had a Haro Sport or a Haro Master.
I'm a dyno man. So I had like Dyno Air. That was my bike. And then like 3 of them got stolen. And then I had like a Robinson, which I liked. And then I got another dyno. And then that got stolen. And then nothing. Because I grew up.
You know what is another interesting? We were talking about leaving that show. I was with some of my buddies. We were talking. Somehow Nirvana, Pearl Jam shit came up. And I said, dude, this goes to show you that drugs don't kill you. Motley Crue is a perfect example. Guns N' Roses, perfect example. Drugs don't kill you. You know what fucking kills you is terrible fucking attitudes about life. That's what fucking kills you. Because all the guys from the whiny, the 90s, grunge, my parents hated each other and they get divorced and my life is terrible and blah. And they sang music about whiny fucking crybaby bullshit. They're all dead. Dude from Alice in Chains, dude from fucking Scott Weiland's dead, Chris Cornell's dead, Kurt Cobain's dead. Who else? A guy from Blind Melon is dead. Dude, they're all dead. Everybody from the 90s is fucking dead.
Here's what I will say. It is a fucking miracle. If you asked me about these two bands in particular, would all original members be alive in 2022? And it's
no way.
Fucking never. Motley Crue and GNR. Holy shit. Fucking real. Now, technically, Nikki Sixx and Slash both did die.
Well, and Steven Adler is kind of dead as right now, but he's like Weekend at Bernie's.
Man. But you know what? He's got the best positive mental attitude of any of them.
And that's because most of his brain that worries is fried. So,
true. But no, you know what, though? Even before it was fried, you just see him popcorning on those drums, smile on his fucking face. He always had the best attitude. And if you ask any real GNR fan who their favorite member of that band is, it's Steven Adler. I said it.
Everyone has their different. I mean, mine is still Axl. I love Izzy.
I love Axl.
Your internet sucks. You keep breaking up. However, going back to my point, right? all those 90s dudes are fucking dead. Nobody from the 80s is dead except for Johnny Lane from Cleveland, from Canton, from Warren. And the only reason he's dead is because he dated Bobby Brown and she broke his fucking heart and he became a raging alcoholic and I think exploded his liver or something from drinking too much.
She was hot. She was super hot.
Yeah, I mean,
at least he got it in
worth
there
exploding your liver for. Yeah. Well, hopefully he didn't get it in there after Tommy Lee got it in there because he wouldn't have got to feel must be like throwing a hot dog down a highway.
I'll still take
anyway,
it. I'll still take it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she definitely was worth it in any capacity. She has an autobiography. All right.
Oh yeah, great. Well, I'm gonna read.
Okay, here you go. Radiohead, number 17, Paranoid Android.
Blah blah blah.
Next.
I'm waiting for Charlie Parker, or the other jazz guy, or Miles Davis, or blah blah blah.
16, Donna Summer, I Feel Love.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Pass.
15,
higher. Hold on, higher than Smells Like Teen Spirit. Get the fuck
yeah. 15, Elvis Presley, Hound Dog. I agree. I mean, you start to see what he's trying to do here through these about mid-range numbers, 15 to 5. Mm-hmm. 14, Velvet Underground, Heroin, which was one of my dad's favorite albums, the one with the banana on the front. Lou Reed. I mean, obviously, huge album, huge
Nico.
Song.
Do you know Nico?
Wild song. No.
Oh, she was a blonde. I only know her from the Doors movie. Blonde. She was smart like Bobby Brown, and she was part of that band for a brief time. She died of heroin.
Okay, well, that's fitting. You know, they say
awesome.
Nikki Sixx. They say that Nikki Sixx. Have you ever read his autobiography, Diary? A fantastic thing. Reminds me a lot of my life. He's got a crazy mother, a lot of self-destructive behavior in his teenage years.
No, but I got this.
Yeah, it's a good one too. Certainly, you have to read his autobiography. But
the thing is, reading.
They talk about maybe you can get on audiobooks.
I just canceled my subscription about a little over a half hour ago.
So you could pay for your internet for this podcast?
Oh, my internet's free. That's why it's not great.
Oh. So you go back to even like the 50s guys like Jack Kerouac and all the beatnik guys. A lot of those dudes got into heroin, very pure heroin, not street bullshit. And they found that the heroin slows your metabolism down so much that if you can actually maintain a heroin habit over time, because it's so expensive and usually then you end up fucking up your life and like going off the rails and doing dumb shit. And that's what screws up your life. But the heroin itself, if you can afford a long-term heroin habit, it slows down your metabolism so much that you stop aging. That's why Nikki Sixx looks so good, right?
Like Keith Richards looks awesome.
Keith Richards, yeah, for sure. Well, you can maintain, if you're rich enough to maintain like a 40-year heroin habit, you'll look like you're 30.
We'll see. I'll start and we'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah, we'll get the money sorted out first. So number 13, well, you're in the right city for that. It'll get you somewhere, trust me. The Ronettes, Be My Baby.
Great song. Wouldn't put it top 20. Wouldn't even put it top 100.
They did have an interest there. There's a lot of good info in here. I didn't know that Ronnie from the Ronettes was married to Phil Spector after he produced that. Was not aware of that.
Isn't that also when "Be My Little Babe," just like Ronnie said?
Just like Ronnie said, yeah.
Be my little babe. Anyway, keep going down the list.
Number 12, Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze.
Okay, I mean,
I love Jimmy. That's a huge song,
but I wouldn't choose that song for a top 20. If I'm, a
lot of these were like he picked like mind-blowing, unique songs like Velvet Underground, Heroin, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Purple Haze. Now 11, Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone. I found that to be a very interesting one because it talked about the transition from Bob Dylan from his very grassroots folk sound to rock and roll, right?
You know what?
Which I thought
it was the bridge from boring to boring.
Boring less boring is
still boring.
No, I mean I love Dylan, but that's just me. Number 10, Michael Jackson.
He didn't even tease up his hair. Forget it. I can't. No, not on the list. Keep going.
Number 10, Michael Jackson. Pick the song.
For what I would pick, or what this guy's pick?
What you would pick? I mean, I certainly agree with a Michael Jackson song in there. What would you pick?
Not my favorite, although I love it. I'd probably pick Billie Jean.
Yes, Billie Jean, number 10. I was a little surprised because, of course, you first would think of Thriller and how it changed, and every kid went nuts for that song and on and on. But yeah, and I like the way you describe some of this stuff.
Beat It, because badass,
right?
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah,
but Billie Jean. He did the moonwalk to that for the first time. I mean, fuck, talk about iconic.
It's interesting how he stated Jackson had done the child star thing. He redefined disco on Off the Wall. The only thing left was world domination, and Jackson knew his mix of post-disco, R&B, funk, and dance pop would be a hit with its slick groove and captivating hook. All very true. I mean, what a song that was.
I mean, it's 100% true, and it'll get you a lot of kids to bang.
You're relentless tonight. I was thrown off by the child star thing. Then I had to reread it. Yeah. Number 9.
Did he do it? Did he diddle those kids? I want a hot take right now.
That's old news, bro. I'm not getting involved in old news.
This whole thing is about old news, you fucking moron.
No, that's this is the 80s, but that's like mid 2000s news. I'm out of that. I have no interest in that.
All the allegations were late 80s, early 90s. The Feldman years, the Culkins.
None of that stuff came out till like the 2000s.
No, came out in the 90s. Remember
in the 90s, yeah, you're right.
Like, I gave the LAPD pictures of my penis, and it was uncomfortable. And yeah.
And none of them could be identified?
I have no idea. I love his fucking music.
Isn't it amazing how
it was like a cock lineup, so the kids could be like, oh, that's his. That's the Jackson cock.
No, that's Draymond Green's.
That's the Jackson 5, if you will.
Right. 5 inches or 5. Yeah, okay. Number 9, Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good. Monster I think that has to be there. Yeah. It's in Back to the Future.
Whoa, I don't know if I'd put it number 5. It should be in the top 20.
It's number 9. Excuse me, number 9.
All right, whatever.
And it's in Back to the Future.
Of course it is.
Number 8. This one I highly agree with. I just don't agree with the song as much, but certainly one of the greatest albums of all time. Number 8, Fleetwood Mac, Dreams.
I didn't know you were a fucking 19-year-old girl.
Come on, dude. That album, Rumors, is one of the greatest albums of all time. I had that on 8
I just wouldn't choose Dreams. I wouldn't choose Dreams.
No, I told you, not the song, but that album. Something off of that album deserves
amazing album.
Yeah.
It's just
probably one of the 5 greatest albums ever made.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Probably not. But much like Pearl Jam and U2, annoying people are ruining that album.
Yeah.
All these 19 to 21-year-old girls that think they're deep and I love that. It's like, bitch, this has been around for 40 fucking years already.
I remember listening to it on 8-track in our van when I was like 5. What an album that was. And actually, my favorite song on that album is that the mostly acoustic 2-minute all finger picking. Was it somebody drove by with a tractor at your house?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7. And I highly, highly, highly agree with this song at number 7. Rolling Stones, Gimme Shelter.
My favorite Rolling Stones song.
By far. And my dad always tells the story about when he was at Notre Dame in college and that album came out. And he said, him and the guys went up and smoked a blunt. No, it wasn't a blunt, obviously, back then. But,
what?
Yeah.
They're smoking a blunt.
No,
they weren't.
They were smoking a joint at
it was a spliff.
A spliff or some squeef. Yeah. And he said that song absolutely blew their mind. Like, blew their mind.
It still does. Yeah, it's amazing.
I always thought for a long time, I've seen them 4 or 5 times in concert, and that's the best song that they do live by far. That song is unbelievable. And I thought it was Aretha Franklin doing that backup when I was a young kid because it sounds so much like her. Doesn't it? It's actually Mary Clayton.
It's just some lady.
Yeah, Mary Clayton. I'm sure she was somebody of some significance. But number 6, Prince, Purple Rain. Certainly think that belongs up there. The Beach Boys, Good Vibrations, number 5.
Purple Rain. Good Vibrations is a masterpiece. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yep. And here's where, I see where he's going. He gets Gimme Shelter in there. He gets something from Fleetwood Mac, Rumors in there. He gets Prince, Purple Rain in there.
Is this I'm going to get irritated?
This is where you're gonna get so fucking irritated. Okay, he hits the Beach Boys. You're thinking, okay, Number 4, Nina Simone, Sinner Man.
Nope.
Okay, now I know she recently has gotten a lot of attention at the Rock Hall and with a lot of her contributions and her songs and her music, certainly. But we're talking about the 4 supposed greatest songs now. 4 greatest songs ever by somebody in the Rock Hall. Number 3, the Beatles, Tomorrow Never Knows, which honestly, I don't know that song that well. I know a lot of Beatles stuff, but I don't know that song off Sgt. Pepper. I think it's off Sgt. Pepper. I don't know it that well.
Pass.
Pass. Yes. I mean, to me, it's like, dude, you were on the way of the most iconic songs, like Journey.
No, this
Don't
is where
Stop
he's trying
Believing.
to go like deep to have street
Deep.
cred
Yeah.
and
I'm
blah,
so,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
With the real musicians. I know. Number 2, Joni Mitchell, A Case of You. This is the number 2 song, supposedly, of all time.
I'm sure he's got 2 paragraphs of how great it is and blah, blah, blah. Don't want to hear it. What's the next one?
This is number 1, not the next one. This is number 1.
Well, no, to me, it's the next one because this is not number 1.
Number 1, David Bowie, Life on Mars. I mean, good song. Don't get me wrong. David Bowie maybe deserves to be somewhere on the list, but these are his top 4 songs of all time. Mm-hmm. We have no Van Halen. We have no Guns N' Roses. How you don't put Guns N' Roses on there somewhere? Probably Welcome to the Jungle would be my suggestion. I mean, that song changed MTV, rock music,
100%.
changed the 80s.
Nothing has sounded like it since.
And that song never gets old, bro. I have listened to that song.
It still gets me pumped. I still get goosebumps.
Lose my mind.
Yep. My walk pace goes up a little bit. Still.
You can't leave the car till it's over. You sing the whole thing. You lose your fucking mind over it. Okay, no Guns N' Roses, no Van Halen, and there was another omission that I was thinking, how is this not on there from
Rat.
the 80s? No, not Rat. Sorry, bro. I know you love Rat, but there was one other big 80s song. Oh, dude, no Metallica. Like,
Chip.
Who else is omitted from that? That even take away our fanboy love of the 80s. There, no Metallica, no Guns N' Roses, no Van Halen. Like, there's nothing from the 80s even in here.
Not the 80s, but you got to have something from the Doors on there. It's an iconic band.
Nothing from the Doors. The only thing you have from the 80s or 90s.
No Queen, bro. No Queen.
Is Michael Jackson and Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's it.
Yeah, that's a horse shit list. That guy should
throwing that shit out.
Not that he has much credibility, but well, that's why he writes for a fucking newspaper nowadays. So let's be honest.
Hey, easy. Love the newspaper.
Well, they'll take what they can get.
Okay. Well, do you want to join me for a couple songs or no?
I'm not a singer, man.
Come on, dude. Let's have a couple songs.
Are any of them?
I will say, no. We're just gonna do a couple songs from Motley Crue and Poison. However, we'll sign off and then we'll just play some songs at the end to sign off with. So I will say this. I'm gonna tease you. The next video that we're doing is gonna be awesome, but I need you to get caught up on Stranger Things. Because
I don't have time for that shit.
You have to get caught up on Stranger.
Don't have time for it.
Yeah, you do. You
no, because I'm on season.
You don't have a job.
2.
You got nothing to do.
No, fuck off. No job. No script to write. No nothing. 2 full-time jobs right now. Time to watch Stranger
Things. You know it?
Kind of sounds
when
like
Big Mama's fallen angel, lose big, living her lies. What's it all? Mama's fallen angel, lose it all. Rolling the dice of her life, too much too soon, just a little too late. 'Cause when the ship came in, she wasn't there just to pull away.
Poison, Fallen Angel. All right, fine. Last one.
It did sound like Poison.
This one,
I'll give you that much. I thought this might be Poison.
Yeah, fair enough. One of my all-time favorite songs there.
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. Had to run away high So I wouldn't come home, no. Just wait when things went right. Doesn't mean they're on their own. Just take this song and you'll never be left all alone. Billy in your heart.
You're like the interpreter at one of those police things.
One more night, and I'm coming off this long and winding road. I'm on the way. I'm on the way home, sweet home. Tonight, I'm on the way. Just set me free. Home, sweet
You should be singing like Vince does now, though.
He sings like 2 words. He sings 2 words and then he lets the chicks dance around a little bit. Dude, he makes it work. I'm telling you, you got to go. We're going to Pittsburgh next month. You should go with us.
Going to Pittsburgh.
It's
Just
been
come when
real.
they come to LA.
I think they already did LA, didn't they?
No, they're going to finish here, dude. Hometown show.
I might come for that. This show was so good. I highly recommend. Don't miss the chicks. Don't miss the bands. Bro, I will see you later this week for Get Caught Up on Stranger Things.
Not gonna
Love
happen.
you. Love the
Love you
80s.
too, buddy. Love the
All right,
80s.
bro. Love the 80s. Good night.